Hi there. In this video, we're going to look at getting started with Photoshop. And so we show you, again, to get started, we're either going to have to make a new image or open up an existing image. So let's look at both of those. To make a new image, you go to the File menu and say New. And then here, you got to decide how big you want this thing to be. So you also have to decide on the resolution. So we'll talk about this later, what's a good one. I'm just going to say OK to this and take whatever size image it gives me. So I now have something here to work with. Then I can do whatever. So I've got the paintbrush chosen. It's going to paint red. So I can paint some red stuff on here. And I can choose the text tool and make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. I can write some text. Okay, so this is one way to make an image in Photoshop, is to actually start from scratch and do all the work yourself. Another way is to oh, I'm sorry, I have to accept this. I'm going to close this one. Another way is to open an existing image and do that. What we'll do is go to File and then Open and then choose an image here. And so we'll just look in here. I'm going to look at the thumbnails and we can pick up a picture here from someplace. So here's some that I shot at the Runner Soul the other day, working on a website for Scott at the Runner Soul. So you can open up an image. Then once you have the image open, oh, I'm sorry, let's drop some text on here too. So drop some on here that says Runner Soul. Again, you can, once you have the image open, you can paint on it, draw on it, do it, manipulate stuff here. So that's it. But then, so that's the first half of it. We either create a new image or open up an existing one, and then saving it. To save it, there's two things we can do. We can choose Save or Save As. I'm going to choose Save As here, and I'm just going to put this here and then delete it. And then here I can save it as a PSD file, which is the Photoshop format. Oops. Or I can choose from the pull-down list. I can choose a couple other, well, actually several different other formats. So I can open up, many formats, and I can save in many formats. So I'm going to cancel this. So if I'm going to save, personally, if I'm going to save it as a Photoshop file, I'm going to go that way. But Photoshop files I can't really use on the internet, some other places. So typically for most of my projects, I always save I always save a Photoshop version of the image. That way it has everything I need. I can come back and work on it later. But if I ever want to use it on the web, then I'm going to come down to this one. So I could do the Save As and save it as a JPEG there. But also we can do Save for Web and Devices, and then we can bring it in here, and I can do things like on my JPEG, I can choose the optimization level. This is this quality thing here that we can look at, and this can choose how much compression it's going to use. If you look down here, it'll tell you what the resulting file size is. Quality 17, the file's going to be that big. Quality 71, the file size is going to be quite a bit bigger. And so I can choose GIF or JPEG or PNG from this. We don't want to really choose Windows bitmap, but again, if I choose GIF, it tells me how big. See, it's going to be quite a bit bigger. Anyway, so if I'm going to save it again to use on the web, I'm going to come here to Save File, and then Save for Web and Devices. So again, we can either say New or Open, and then we can either Save or Save As, and then Save for Web and Devices. So again, if I'm saving as a Photoshop file, which I always save a Photoshop version, I would use one of these. But then if I also want a copy to use on the web, I will additionally save a JPEG or GIF copy from here.